All right, let's call to order.
So. I just don't see the light on this.
Let's try it again, Steve. There you go.
Let's call to order the January 23rd Worcester Town Council meeting. Please stand. Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcements. I have two announcements. I had the privilege to go to the League of Cities and Towns training last week. They talked about ethics and finances and legal. Very informative, and it's the League of Cities and Towns we're definitely going to utilize, and the trust. It was sponsored by the trust, so they covered the cost. The other thing I'd like to announce is the Grange on February 5th, Wednesday at 7:30.
Moosup Valley Grange?
Moosup Valley, yes, Moosup Valley. They're having a rural surgical seniors presentation. Oh, it's about how to prepare surgery, essential questions. So that is at 7:30 on February 5th at the Moosup Valley Grange. And I can have Michaela send it out, please.
Yeah.
All right. Public, no public, okay. No public, all right.
Sign up, but you just reminded me
Okay.
of something.
Yes,
That's
Yep.
okay.
go ahead.
Then Ryder Burgess Road, you mentioned the League of Cities and Towns. When they have their big conference, it really is worth the council and other members of the staff to go to. They have so many workshops. It's very informative. You get to network, and I don't think that's been taken advantage of in the last few years, but it really is worth going.
Yeah, that's why I went to this last one. It was great. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented with the removal of Steve Lawton, Tended Seed Business Development LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
So I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda, minus the, we have the motion, we removed him, we voted to remove him. Or, oh, no, you made the motion to approve it. Okay, all right, sorry,
Yep.
never mind.
So I guess we need to make a motion to discuss Steve Lawton, Tended Seed Business Development LLC, 32 Foster Center Road.
I think
With
for,
discussion.
because of the way your motion was worded, I think we need to vote on that first, approving the consent agenda minus that.
Okay,
I messed you up because,
yeah, all right,
Uh,
whatever.
yeah,
Then we can do a discussion.
You don't need to add, you don't need a motion to add that as discussion because now that you've removed it, it just becomes a regular agenda.
But still need a motion to approve
Yes.
that. So we still need a motion to approve that. Steve Warren, and then we can discuss.
You need a
I'm
motion-
confused. Now you are confusing me.
I'm sorry, you know, the way you made the motion, because last time we did it a little bit differently, we removed somebody, but this time, the way you made that motion, we can vote to approve the consent agenda minus that one. So we could
That is
vote on
correct,
it.
and
We
that's
could,
where we are.
exactly,
Right now, this is a separate item.
but we
We
gotta put
didn't
on,
vote on it yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now.
yes,
No, we didn't vote on the consent agenda yet.
no, that's what Steve's
Right.
saying, we can vote on that part now.
Okay,
So we have a motion
In a second.
and a second.
Mhm.
All right, discussion. All right, approved. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So do we need to make a motion?
No. Because once you remove it.
We can-
It just
We
automatically.
can just discuss it without a motion.
Now it's another agenda item, it's just.
So the reason I removed this is because I don't have any information
Mm.
on what this is, what kind of business, what,
They consulting home office business. It's a business consultant.
is Steve here?
No, but this is like one of those other category business licenses. So we were grandfathering in people who have been in business like for years already. And not having them go through like the public hearing process and the abutters notices because they've already been in business.
So this is an existing renewal.
It's a renewal.
It's not a, well, it's an.
It's an existing, but
business.
added to the other. because
Yeah,
we
To the
have-
other
Other is a new
Is
category.
it
yeah.
existing business in Foster?
It's been in existence.
And everything's been signed off on.
I have like their taxes.
So I would make a motion then at this point to approve the license of Steve Lawton, DBA Tended Seed Business Development LLC at 32 Foster Center Road, pending approvals by all the officials.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? See one? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I've never heard of that either. I've never heard of that business.
Yeah, it's just like a home office basically.
Okay, okay.
The businesses that are falling under the category, you know how you started.
Yeah,
charging
with the
for a
others.
license so
Yeah.
that we
I just-
can help them?
Right.
So this business has existed for years, or could have been existing. for
Yeah,
years, and we just didn't know.
We just used to see the applications and like, so we have no idea, like we,
Because they would come up and talk.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
Okay, on to old business, police building committee. I went to the meeting, thank you publicly for the building committee coming together in such short notice. Because it was short notice, we got the agenda in on time, but it was short notice. We do have a bunch of information that we received from NEC. So one of the things that we need to do to move forward is approve an amendment A. So I would request a motion on that.
So Steve went to the meeting and he was good enough to provide us all of the documentation, the schematics, everything that I've never seen before. A budget plan, all of that, with this amendment A. That, can you explain that further before I make
Yeah, I
a
can- yep.
motion to approve it? I read it, but I just don't have
Um,
a computer in front of me.
Can you hear? Can you make a motion that we can discuss?
Okay. Okay, I will make a motion to authorize Council President Stephen Plouffe to sign the Amendment A, which is pre-construction services.
second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll discuss, okay, so this letter, which is the amendment to the current contract, it's a pre-construction services. So what it is, it's a timeline that they're gonna give us. It's design development documents are gonna be done March 3rd. Zoning and planning civil set, March 11th. Design development budget, March 24th. The permit set documents is March 24th. Construction drawings, April 22nd. And the final budget pricing will be May 7th. So this is the beginning point. They do have a fee schedule on here. The fees for the above stated scope of work to be $359,150, which will be billed monthly based on the work complete. So this is what we need to actually start moving forward, with starting to get these documents in. Okay. So that was discussed at the building committee, the police building committee.
Yeah, it was informative to see all those documents.
Yeah.
And no, actually, did you go?
I
through them?
looked them up.
To actually see what it is that we're dealing with. Because I really haven't seen that previously, and you
Yeah,
know,
that's first time. we're
the quote with like itemized by by materials, by labor, by different things, but to actually see that all spelled out, it made this
It
make
did.
a lot more sense.
It did. It did. Yep, absolutely. Do we have any more discussion? On
I'm
that
good.
amendment A? Catherine?
No,
Good.
no, I read them all.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll have to
So we get
sign
this
that.
thing started?
Yeah, we can get this started now.
Okay.
That's what we needed to get started.
Did say, Steve,
Yep.
that based on our timeline and our rush to start spending down some of this money and still be applicable to some of the grants that we've requested, but you haven't heard back on. He was gonna try to move the May up until like the end of March, early April.
Yeah, that's what.
With,
So-
with a completion date by
For this section,
December, right?
for
By
this
December.
section of the contract, so that we could
Yeah.
start moving first.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just want to get it going. Do you,
So I'll
Oh.
sign that. I'll sign that.
okay,
Yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna sign that.
you
I'll-
want to wait? Well,
Yep.
okay, that's fine.
Okay, it's old business. All right, new business, Forster Conservation Commission proposal. You want to discuss that?
I have it. I can read it and then we can make a motion. If I didn't bring my glasses, so hopefully I can. I can try. I mean, I might be able to get through it, but let's see. All right. Yes, helpful. Okay, the Foster Conservation Commission organizes the yearly Earth Day event at the Foster Fairgrounds, usually on the last Saturday in April. Earth Day continues to be a successful event, and each year residents are able to dispose of household items such as electronics, mattresses, tires, and other assorted trash. We recognize that the DPW yard is open to the public throughout the year, Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll correct that in this letter. That's incorrect because they are also open on Fridays for residents to dispose of items. But for many working people, these limited hours during the week are not advantageous. The Foster Conservation Commission therefore recommends that in addition to the annual Earth Day event, that the DPW yard be made available for residents to drop off electronics, mattresses, appliances, scrap steel, and other household waste on 3 additional Saturdays during the year from 8 a.m. to noon. The dates could be seasonal, one in the summer, fall, and winter, in addition to our Earth Day event held in the spring. The DPW director should be able to provide a budget for the operating costs of these additional hours to the town council for their consideration. Additionally, we wish to bring to the attention of the town council of a grant program that might cover this expense, which has an application due date of February 6th, 2025, which is quickly approaching. With regards, Dave Rathman, Chairman of the Foster Conservation Commission. I'm not even quite sure how to make a motion for this. But it's discussion and or actions. So
Yeah, so I'm, under discussion.
I don't want to make a motion because I'm
Yeah.
really not quite sure.
Yeah.
What motion to
I
make?
think we need to
Discuss.
figure out and discuss, figure out what the cost would be
Yes.
to have it open.
Mhm.
You know, I think we could probably, table this until we get information from the DPW director on what it would cost to
Right.
have the,
Well, the other thing is,
oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm,
yeah.
s- I'm,
Oh,
okay, okay, can
oh,
I?
absolutely.
Can I raise my concerns first? Thank you. My concern is I did look into this grant and going through it, I didn't see any part of it that would cover employees or overtime, because if we do this, we are going to have 2 employees on Saturdays for 4 hours working overtime for 3 additional days, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to add to the budget. And my feeling is that this is something that we should address in budget workshops. But I'm glad to hear.
just want to add.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure
Yeah.
the council is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't looking for you to make a motion tonight, but Bob Horton, East Killenly Road. So we mentioned we'd like to have the DPW yard open 3 additional Saturdays per year in addition to Earth Day. And this came up in conversation during our meetings as we're planning for this coming Earth Day. We said, what if we made it more convenient for residents to get rid of some of this trash? So we feel this would reduce illegal disposal of trash. It would make for a cleaner environment. We would possibly reduce the volume of landfill trash and reduce our tipping fees. One idea that's come up in the past was disposal of furniture. And I know Gordon had proposed people paying a fee for that, and I'm fully supportive of that. We have a summer house up in New Hampshire. It's a small town like Foster, and they have a town dump where you can bring furniture there and you pay a fee for it because it's an additional cost. Regular
Yes.
trash just goes in the dumpster. Well, one idea of originally what I had heard was people would get a permit or something to get rid of their trash, and then Ramboma go back out at another time and collect it. What if the furniture were brought here by people on those Saturdays? And that way it may not necessarily go right into the landfill. You could have the furniture put somewhere on the grounds for a swap. People could come in and say, okay, I'm getting rid of this table, but I could use that bookcase or that end table and take it. This would be an opportunity to repurpose that stuff, which is good for the environment, rather than just sticking it right into the landfill. So there'd be that swap opportunity. Rather than scrap metal going in the regular trash and adding to that waste, that could be brought here on those Saturdays. And then the town could accumulate that and possibly make some money on recycling fees. You're correct about the grant. I was excited about the possibility of it when I first saw it, but when looking into it, it wouldn't cover labor costs, but it might cover other costs. They show some examples. One could be
Bins.
printed material and bins with printed material and mailers that go out to the community to tell them about this if it is finally decided on. It could be for bins like at the athletic field. Anything that saves the town money. If there's free money out there, I would say, yeah, absolutely go for it, because then it frees up some money to put towards something like this. So I just want to give you those ideas, and please give it some consideration. I know there'll be additional fees, but I think this is one of those things that's a great service to the community. As we pay our taxes, this is, just something that would be very beneficial to everyone. Thank you.
Is there a possibility? I mean, we're going to go into a budget season. It's going to be really tight. The DPW budget was cut last year. Adding overtime might be difficult, not met with, friendly people at the financial town meeting. Is there a possibility that members of the commission could volunteer for those 3 additional days?
I can't speak on their behalf without discussing it with them, but I think personally for myself, yes, I think that might be a worthwhile thing to do. I don't know if you would require somebody from DPW to be there as a paid employee, the supervisor. I don't know if you want to leave it for liability reasons, just the volunteers. So look into that too.
Yeah, I just think,
I'm open to that.
I think it'd be a better sell to people. And that would be something where
I'm
that
agreeable
grant
to
may
that.
help.
I'm asking you guys to explore that. Have some discussions, get the cost from Gordon, figure this out. And then maybe in another meeting or 2, you'd be able to vote on it. But I think this is worth something supporting.
So under that grant, I know it was for, different things, the bins but printing materials, advertising materials. So, if we could work something with volunteers, so we're not paying 2 employees overtime. And it's 3 additional days, and we can apply for that grant by way of advertising or flyers.
Yes.
I think it would be worth looking into the grant, but I mean, we got short time, but, yeah, my concern is the budget, you know, when we get into that and adding
You'll be
overtime.
working that out in the budget workshops, right?
We will, but this date comes up as
Oh,
far
for
as
grant.
applying for the grant, it comes
Yeah.
up before that,
Well, I would recommend applying for it anyway.
right?
And if this doesn't come to fruition, you can always return it, but.
And in
maybe
the,
figure out what are the costs to have flyers for the whole town.
yep,
And if you need recycling, receptacles at the athletic field, might as well go.
I do. We already had a grant for
Yeah.
those, didn't we, Kelly? For that, yeah, but we've got those, so we probably can't apply for them again.
But those were two examples they gave. I
Yeah.
don't know what else they might support. It's
Mm.
worth somebody looking into it.
So can you go back to the commission and see if there would be people willing
Yeah.
to volunteer for those specific? I know you said Earth Day is spring, then, you know, we've got a day in the summer, a day in the fall,
Yeah.
a day in the winter. I just
Kathy
think,
and Richard, what do you say?
Oh, no family.
Oh, there's three of us now.
okay, I think we can work with that.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
and maybe more.
okay.
Heidi, I do want to
Thank
say
you.
that, Gordon had applied for a grant with, Rhode Island Resource Recovery, and, I remember one time there was so much administrative work associated with the grant and the reporting that it really wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
So, we'll have to figure that out.
So is
Okay, but
Or-
I mean,
or
even if,
unilaterally just say, yes, we'll apply for the grant. We have to look into it more
and
because
see how much work it
we
is.
just don't have the workforce to
Right.
do some of the, to
But
to handle
even-
the administrative function for a $500 grant here and there. Some of it is a heavier lift.
But even if we can't, we can somehow fit it in the budget with conservation or whatever.
100%, yeah.
$365 for a full page ad in the Foster Home Journal and email blasts. We can do it cheap.
Right, exactly. I just
Yeah.
would go right to the grant without looking more into it.
Right, okay.
Do we have any other discussion on the conservation? No?
Thank you for
Yeah, thank you.
volunteering. If you guys can do it, that'd be great.
All right, item number 2, budget schedule and adoption dates.
Okay.
All right. So let me just go through from top to bottom.
Mhm.
Actually easier
What do you want to do?
to go from bottom
Go
up.
ahead, go ahead.
Because
Okay.
everything is based on the date of the financial town meeting. So it's important to note and put it in your calendars. The financial town meeting is May 6th this year.
Mhm.
By charter, it's the first Tuesday of the month of May. Always at 7 o'clock. So I know we meet at 6. The meetings for the financial town meetings are scheduled for 7.
Yep.
Okay, so based on that, you have to have a public hearing and the council has to adopt within a certain period of time. The last date, if you wanted to do a normal Thursday that you could adopt would be April 17th. I would prefer that you adopt by April 10th or somewhere in between, because as you'll read further, you have to have the advertisement for your financial town meeting and the budget approved by the state of Rhode Island.
Mhm.
So that only gives them a few days. So if you adopt on the 17th, we have to advertise by that Monday on the 21st, and that advertisement has to be, it's a detailed ad, if you've ever seen it in the paper.
Yes.
Has the budget by breakdown, has the levy estimates at the time. So all of that has to be calculated, sent to the state of Rhode Island, approved. We have to receive formal notice of approval before you can actually place the ad. So that is a little bit of a tight fit. But if you have to, we have done it in the past, if it gets that way. So April 17th is your last date. I'm proposing that we try for April 10th. Okay.
For
the
adoption.
Council adoption, if possible.
Okay.
If you don't do it that day, you could always do somewhere in between. There's nothing to say, nothing written that
We
says
could just
what
continue
date.
it.
It's
right?
just so many days prior to the formal budget adoption, and the budget adoption is May 6th. Okay, so then you get into the public hearing.
Wait, what,
Okay.
the budget adoption? No, the
the
financial town
Financial
meeting.
town meeting,
Okay.
which is the formal, that is what the state of Rhode Island
Okay.
considers the formal budget adoption. Because
right,
it's
it's
by
the
the
6th.
taxpayers. They're your highest voting authority is the
Right.
taxpayers. So the council has to adopt by the 17th. at the latest. So I'm proposing the 10th or the 17th, both dates are on here. You have to have a public hearing so many days before the budget is going to be heard and voted on. So I am proposing that the budget hearing happen around the 27th. So if you notice in here, in the budget schedule, it has to be at least 30 days before the financial town meeting, which is April 6th. The second regular meeting of the month is March 27th or April 3rd. So you could do any of these days. April 3rd is the last available meeting that you could have your public hearing. So I'm proposing the 27th. If we're not ready, we could always do it April 3rd. But believe it or not, you have to have that date chosen relatively soon. Not soon, but relatively quick once we begin the process, because you have to advertise for that.
So you're scheduling about a week ahead
Ahead
of
of
our
everything.
drop
What is
dead.
really needed.
Because you
Yeah.
have
The
to
drop dead, yeah.
advertise
Yeah.
for your public hearing. So once we start discussing the budget itself, by the end of February, early April, you have to pretty much cement when you're gonna have your public hearing, because it has to be advertised, what, 3 weeks prior? 3 weeks prior to your hearing. Okay, so that's the first and only public hearing you have to have on the budget. People are welcome to come to all of our workshops. So that brings you to the workshops. You will receive the budget sometime around the 27th. That's what I have scheduled here. So all the budgets will be submitted to you for your review, either through SugarSync or Hard. Generally, I give you both. I'll give you a binder with your budget and all your budget documents in it that you need so that you have it if people printed documents. And you'll also have it in SugarSync. They'll create a special folder for budget for 2026, and you can just go right there to get the documents as well. Okay. So based on that, if you have it, because it takes from now till then to prepare it. If you have it on the 27th, I'm proposing the first workshop is the 6th of March.
Mhm.
The 6th of March is the first
All right, so you-
Thursday. So now we're kind of going, so
You've-
now we're
you've
working
got-
between the 6th of March and the budget workshops. Those
Because
are the dates we have to determine.
in here you've got, 6th of March, the first budget work session. Okay, got it. And then the additional ones. So you've got in here, we need to select 3. Should we
I'm
just keep
suggesting
all
you
those
select
dates
3.
open?
Based on history, well, I need to tell our
The
department
department
heads
heads.
what dates,
Mm.
and I need to find and kind of
All
work
right.
on a fine tune a schedule, so
Maybe-
everybody can know what day they're
Maybe
gonna.
we should,
So is the 6th, start with that. Is the 6th the first good day that you can have? That you can all meet for the first run through of the budget. It's generally a decent sized meeting, usually 3 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit longer, so that we can go through the entire budget
Mhm.
narrative, all of it in its entirety, and then you go through, you digest all of that, and then we get a little deeper by department after that.
So we don't have a council meeting that night.
So I'm right, that's why I selected it.
And when are you saying to, like, what time are you proposing to start that? I mean, the
That's-
other ones you have at
um,
4:30. I
Right,
don't know.
I
how-
would suggest, based on the fact that
It's gonna be
it's,
a long meeting.
yes,
Yeah.
that you can. You're a different council, everybody agreed on 4:30 in the
Mm.
last few years. So, I'm asking you, what time works for you? What time do you all get home? What time what are your schedules like? Does 4:30, 5 o'clock work for you?
Yeah, what time is good for you?
I work in Newport right now, so.
Yeah.
I would drive.
5.
Yeah, 5 would probably be best. If
Yeah,
it's
my-
sometime if I need to get home and clean up some.
I've got my kids getting off the bus and
I don't,
you
mind,
are
just
on
it's
the
just
bus.
like you plan accordingly. I just need to know, yeah.
I would
Five.
say 5 is
I think
safe.
5, yeah.
5 o'clock?
Yeah, we'll do a.
Okay, so we're gonna, and can everybody meet March 6th?
I can.
Yeah.
Chris?
Good.
James?
Okay, so March 6th is the first time we'll discuss the budget in its entirety. And we'll start at 5 o'clock,
Mhm.
okay?
Yep.
So after that, generally speaking, I would say you want 2 to 3 meetings at least. I would say 3, it's a new council, it's a new budget. And maybe they can be a
At
little
least.
shorter if we can have 3 meetings prior to the public hearing on the budget. So that gives you between March 6th and March 27th. So I put those dates, do you see them right there? 310, 313, 318, 320, 325. I gave you dates to choose from, so I have to pick the dates and the times, and then I will start working through schedules with each of the department heads.
I think I can be good for any of those. I don't know what other people's schedule is, but I think I can be good for.
Now, will the 13th be a town council meeting?
Yes, that's why that meeting will be short. We've had to do it before. That's why sometimes earlier is better because it gives you
Mm.
time to,
Okay.
and then you go right into the council meeting. But I mean, you only have so many available days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
some days don't work for certain people. Some people have meetings outside of here. Or they're part of their things and they, so I'm trying to find dates that work for you, and I put options here.
I mean, I think the 13th might be one of those good days because we're already gonna be here.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Right.
You
You know,
could order like
And-
some
Gonna be-
food or
yeah.
something, and
And at what time?
could we
that's-
meet at 4:30 on that day? And we'll try to provide some sort of
The
food.
13th at 4:30?
Because that will give you an hour and a half before the town council meeting.
Right, Catherine, if it doesn't work for you, I mean, if you
Yeah,
have to
no.
be late, you have to be late.
No.
Yeah.
4:30?
So far, there's nothing
Alright.
on my calendar
Okay,
other than the meeting.
So the 13th will be at 4:30.
Yep.
Other than that, the meeting, other than council day meetings, we'll try to we'll schedule for 5 o'clock. Okay?
Yep.
So that's one. So if you go over the whole budget by the 6th, I also think it's good if, when we go over it, just keep this in mind. If you want to give me notes or questions, I can bring them back to the department heads. We can try to get you answers for the next meeting or data or whatever. All right, so that gives us a little bit of time. Do you want that to be your first? It would be really your second budget, or did you need the 10th? So you want the 13th, the 20th is, I don't know the 20th, what day is that?
the 20th is a Thursday,
Thursday.
it's off. I'd rather, you know what,
It's an
I'd like to get them done
act-
earlier
it's off.
rather than later. That's my
I
opinion.
would too.
So that's a good time because it's not a council meeting and you can
Mm.
have it be a little bit longer.
Yeah. What, the 10th,
The 20th.
the 20th? Yeah, I don't want to go too far in case, we need to
You want to do 13, 18, 20?
13, 18 is,
If
should
you
be,
don't do
and
13,
20.
18 and 20, you should probably do 13, 20 and 25, or what was the other one?
Right.
I don't want to go to the 25th.
Because you're gonna have a public hearing. We're trying for the
Yeah.
public hearing on
Yeah.
the 27th.
Yeah,
so-
Could
I'd rather
the
have
public
it,
hearing. You don't have to have the public hearing that day. You could have the public hearing. What was the last date?
Yeah.
you said?
the
Yeah, but
18th.
No, the public hearing has to be the 27th.
No.
Or
I'm asking Steve,
Yeah,
do you
no.
want to meet on the
I
13th?
don't think we should wait till the 20th.
The 18th, I don't either. The 13th, 18th
Yeah.
and 20th.
that works better for me because it gives me more time to prepare documents for like upgrade,
What, the
update
13,
the
18,
budget
20?
for the ones you just said.
Okay, all right.
That's for, if we're having a public hearing to the 27th, it gives me a little bit of time. To
Yeah,
get
to
all
make
of these.
adjustments and
Yeah.
everything.
I don't like, yeah, I'd
that
rather
good?
have it like that.
Is
not
18 and
spread out.
20
At
at 5
4
o'clock? Okay.
At
We'll do
5?
5 at 18 and 20. It's not a council, the council.
Right.
All
the
right,
13th
so
will be on the-
5.
You know, Catherine would have to be here at that.
Yeah.
So I suggest that we try to get as many questions. So when I provide the budget to you, really read it through between the 27th and the 6th. So you can ask as many questions as you want. We can try to get you as much information as possible. And again, if somewhere in here we have to schedule more meetings, that's
Right.
fine.
Yep.
It's fine. It's just that, and just because we're having a public hearing on the meeting, it's just a discussion to let the public know where we stand, what we're doing, what you were presented with, where we are at then.
Everything
You
in.
don't have to adopt
Yeah.
until like I said, the 17th, but preferably the 10th. So we could actually have a meeting between the 27th and the 10th
Can add one.
and add one there before, so that you're
Gotcha.
ready for the adoption on the 10th.
Right.
Or whatever, but these are the preliminary budget meetings so that you can plan appropriately. So that's 4 meetings.
So do you want,
I will modify this and then send it. You don't need to vote on it. It's just I
Okay.
can modify it
Okay.
and send it to you.
so that, all right, so March 6th at 5, March 13th at 4:30, March 18th at 5, and the March 20th at 5.
Yes, and then again, we could always change them. They're not advertised. You can change them as you go.
Nothing's set in concrete. We
Right,
can't-
Right, we can always change them.
We have changed them, saying we weren't gonna have enough new information to make the
Right.
next meeting warranted, or you could say we have way too much, we need to add a meeting in between these two.
Mm,
But this way I can let the departments know, and I can also let the external organizations know. You have all the fire companies, you have the library, you have a lot of external organizations too, so we need
Mm.
some guidelines that I can give them.
So the public hearing you're gonna set for the 27th,
Um,
and then
tentatively,
tentatively, right?
we
and
will
then-
know more.
and
on
then-
the
and
Once we
after
get
that,
through
the
these
adoption,
workshops,
As
yeah.
we
try to
move
work-
along.
Yeah,
Mm,
and we'll try to work on the for the 10th.
The 10th, if
Right.
not.
If
we'll-
not, then we can- right.
We'll move it to the 7th.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
The 17th is convenient because it happens to be a council meeting.
Right,
Right.
So if we went to adopt,
Oh,
it would
yeah,
be a
that's
very
kinda-
short meeting because that would be the only thing on it, most
Yeah.
likely. But it just gives more preparation. It's the problem really is, and I think that it has to be discussed long-term for your charter, as a charter amendment. If you could move that May 6th back,
before the school,
well, no, back meaning like instead of May 6th, the first Tuesday in June instead of the
Mm.
first Tuesday in May, it
Mhm.
really would give you a lot
Oh,
more
back
time
that way, okay, yeah.
to like, or is that forward? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it
Little
would
more-
give you more time
Yep.
to really debate and really work through the budget, and a lot more is settled by then, because you're basically adopting in the very early time in May and
Mhm.
April, I mean, and the state budget, you have no idea what your state aid is
Right.
gonna be. Sometimes there's legislative changes that are in the works that you don't know about until June, but you have already voted on your budget. For
Right,
example, the motor vehicle, when they did away with that, the
Uh-huh.
motor vehicle tax, that happened all after the fact. When they did, what was the last big change that the state made? They've made many changes from the time we've adopted the budget to June 30th. So it gives us more time. It's a
Yeah.
consideration going forward.
that'll be under charter
Okay.
amendments,
All
right?
right, so we have those dates set. That's good.
Yep.
And you can update that and send it out to us.
I'll update it and send it
Thank
out.
you.
Okay?
All right. That's it for the budget. Yes.
Sorry, I was late to come in.
Oh, that's fine.
6, so
Yeah, if you can do me a favor, if you can come over here, please. You just state your name and your address, please. Good.
Name is Paul Oidet, address is 189 Hartford Pike, Foster, Rhode Island. So I'm the owner of the gas station on 10194. I think you all noticed what happened. So are we gonna be doing anything regarding the police having more police officers? I have to ask this question. The building almost caught on fire.
And that's
So-
something we're gonna have to add to an agenda item.
I know,
It's not something we can
but
discuss.
my
right here.
job is here to talk to you guys.
Mhm.
But short of staff. And you're all grown-ups. But kids.
Mhm.
Small kids, you're all grown-ups. So if I can't protect my business, which is next to the house, I'm gonna protect myself and the kids. And at the end of the day, I'm the one who's gonna be blamed if anything happened.
Mm.
They all talk about guns, you have ammo. This is all bullshit. Sorry about that. If I did anything, I'm the one who's gonna be in trouble. So we need to focus on that, getting more cops in the city and Foster.
Yeah, what we can do is we can add that to an agenda item. and I'll let you know when it's on the agenda item. You can come back and discuss that with us.
Not a
We can
problem.
discuss it openly also.
Yeah,
I think
you.
that'd be
Appre-
something to deal with
Yeah.
in budget workshops.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep,
Nobody can speak, so it makes it difficult for someone to bring something up. I said, no one can speak at no outside, no, audience cannot speak.
Under the public hearing, you can.
No, any of us can't speak.
The public hearing, you can.
The public
Yeah.
hearing, yes, but not a workshop.
I mean, it's always been done before.
I don't know if that's actually true.
No, people have always
I think
spoken.
we've,
So
Yeah.
we were told no.
okay. I'll address that.
It's dependent on who's running the meeting at the
Yeah.
time, if you
Yeah.
want
I'll-
them to, but I mean, they can get very lengthy.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
ask for a lot of input, but
Yeah,
I've been present at both when they've taken
Yeah,
comments from. the
I mean,
audience.
personally, I
Right.
would want the input.
mm, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Paul.
We.
Executive session. I move to go into executive closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5 for discussions or work sessions regarding collective bargaining, contract negotiations, or litigation according to Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5A2, and to reconvene an open session, and further to keep the minutes of said meeting closed and the minutes of all executive sessions held previous. Thank you, Gina. To this meeting be closed and remain to the provisions of general laws of Rhode Island 42-46-4 and 5.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session.